Here we are. The only thing left to do with this engine is to pull our crankshaft. Now we have no pistons on here. It actually rotates really easily. Anytime we actually take this off or put it back together, just make sure we have nice, easy, free rotation. Now to get this guy out, 3 main caps is what we're working with. There may be a torque sequence to removing these. So they might say, especially on a longer crank, right, take out the ones on the outside, work your way to the middle, and prevent creating some sort of deflection in your crankshaft. Do have to note, these have arrows on them. Right? The direction they should face is going to be towards the rear. And they're also numbered as well. Now, under the cap is a bearing, like a friction bearing for your journal on your crankshaft. On this rear one closest to the flywheel, in this case, also has a thrust washer, which is going to be on either side of it. So we have to be careful not to lose those or not to get caught up on them. Other engines, though, they might use them right in the middle or on either end. Now these here are particularly low torque. It's a very small engine. Not uncommon though, you torque these to like 200 pound-feet and then another 100 degrees or something like that. All our caps are loose. Now to get these off, you usually just want to give them a slight wiggle like this. And away they go. They have to go back on the right location. So we have to make sure they get there. Now as you look at underneath this guy here, here's our main bearing in our cap. As I take this last one off, okay, got this guy out. And see, we lost one thrust bearing here. Lost all our bearings. This here, in this case, is our thrust bearing. Lives right in this recession here. There's one on the other side as well. These are very important for the engine. And they're in there. What's their main bearing too? Okay, we pulled our caps off. Now we have our crank. On a big engine, this is very, very heavy. You would never want to lift it out by hand. Also very sensitive to distortion, anything like that. When we pull it out, just like the camshaft has to be supported properly, ideally stored vertically. So up on end, supported by either tying it to an appropriate fixture or keeping it on a flywheel so it doesn't tip over. This one here though, I can pull it by hand. Still want to pull it up straight. Make sure we don't nick anything. Lost another thrust bearing in there. That's okay. Here is our crank. Walk out of the way. Here's a crank. We have our counterweights, our throws with our rod journals, our main journals, the nose with the gear, and our flange in the back for the flywheel. Set them here for now, and we'll get this all cleaned up and come back and talk about the block itself. Now, something else we need to do, if we took this crank out, we have to put our caps back in on their appropriate holes and torque them to spec. Going to keep that block from distorting while it's all apart.